On the very day that it finally went public, it looked, to a great many people, as though the company might already be quietly dying. Because its stock price promptly crashed, falling by very nearly half. And the reason was brutally simple. The whole entire world was busy walking away from the desktop computer that the company had been built for and onto the phone where it had almost no real business at all. And then its founder went and did the genuinely terrifying thing. He bet the entire company on the very shift that was supposed to kill it. This is the story of Facebook, the company that we now call Meta. Here is the pattern worth learning. Call it betting on the new ground. Because when the ground suddenly shifts beneath one of your successes, you must not simply brace yourself on the old floor, the one that still holds. Instead, you have to pour a whole new foundation on the new ground and move absolutely everything onto it. And you must do it before your rivals build there, even while everyone around you is loudly calling you crazy for ever leaving. So consider just how much was at stake. For years, Facebook had steadily grown into the single largest social network anywhere on Earth. But the thing had been built for the web browser, sitting on the desktop computer. And meanwhile, a brand new machine was very quietly taking over the entire world, the smartphone. And so, in the year 2012, the company went public in one of the most widely hyped debuts in all of history, priced at $38 for every single share. And then, within just a few short months, that stock price simply collapsed. It fell by nearly half, tumbling all the way down toward $19. And the market's great fear was really quite specific. Because Facebook was, at its very heart, a desktop company, and the whole world was now walking, very fast indeed, straight onto the phone, onto the exact place where Facebook had so far built almost no advertising business at all. The investors were simply betting that it would miss the great shift entirely, in precisely the same way that the earlier social networks had all quietly died the very moment that their own ground had moved beneath them. And here, now, was the great fork in the road. The safe and the comfortable path was simply to defend that desktop business that had made the company so rich, and to treat the phone as nothing more than a small side project, handled by a little team off in some corner. Or, instead, to go and do something genuinely frightening, to tear the entire company apart right down to the studs, and to rebuild the whole of it around the very thing that was currently terrifying everyone. And so the founder chose to reorganize the entire company around one single phrase: mobile first. He dissolved the one isolated little mobile team completely, and instead, he handed every single product group its very own mobile engineers, and made each and every one of them fully responsible for shipping on the phone. And the new rule became brutally simple. If you dared to open a meeting with the desktop version of a feature, then that meeting was simply over. And it worked with genuinely astonishing speed. At the very end of 2012, the phone was bringing in less than a quarter of all of the company's advertising money. And yet, just one single year later, it had already surged clean across the halfway line. In only about 18 short months, a pure desktop company had completely and utterly rebuilt itself into a mobile one. And the stock quietly climbed all the way back, and then it never once looked back again. And that very same deep instinct had actually shown up just a few weeks before that shaky public debut. The founder had quietly spotted a tiny little photo sharing app, one that was growing very fast indeed on the phone, with a mere 13 employees and with almost no revenue whatsoever. And he had gone and paid around $1 billion for the thing. Its name was Instagram. He was, quite deliberately, buying the shift itself, long before it could ever grow up into a real threat. Years later, that purchase, and one other like it, would draw a truly major legal challenge, one that the company then went on to win at trial. Now imagine instead that he had simply done the safe and the sensible thing, and defended the desktop, that he had carefully protected the comfortable and the profitable old business and had let mobile quietly languish as a mere side project. The very likeliest result of all that is simply the exact same fate as the social networks that had come before it, slowly and then quickly becoming a place that people checked less and less and less as their whole entire lives moved onto a phone that it had chosen to ignore. The company that runs the world today exists only because it flatly refused to defend its own hard-won peak. But instead, it now quietly reaches close to 4 billion people every single month, right across its whole family of apps. That is very nearly half of every single person who is alive. And it rents all of that human attention out to almost every single advertiser on the entire planet. It is not really a mere website at all. It has become, in truth, the very infrastructure of human attention itself. Look back then at the true shape of the whole thing. The ground had moved. And instead of desperately clinging on to that old floor, the one that genuinely still held, the company chose to pour a whole new foundation on the new ground, while very nearly the entire market was loudly betting that it would fall. So here is the lesson worth keeping. Watch as carefully as you possibly can for that exact moment when the ground first begins to move beneath your very own feet. The new platform, the new tool, the new way of doing the thing. And then ask yourself, as honestly as you are able, are you still bracing yourself on the old floor simply because it happens to still hold when you should, in truth, already be building on the new?